After you've completed a new account for the first time, you might want to verify the creation of this account. For example, let's check to make sure before we call Mr. and Mrs. Brown that their parent account is working correctly. So we'll go into the username, and that's where we'll type the username that we created for this parent account. QCSD C Brown Coach. And we'll use the same password that we created for this parent account. Even parent accounts leave their schools set to Odyssey, and when they hit the login button, the first thing that they're presented with is the recent work tab on the parent account. And since Charlie didn't do any work today, they won't be able to see that work list up here. But in the future, they'll be able to see the work at what was done today, at a week, and at a month glance. They'll be able to see if any assignments were given to Charlie and how he's done with them, such as the assignments that are in progress, the ones that are completed, and all the assignments to get a scope of the courses. Parents also have the ability to run the following reports: an attendance report, a duration report, and a student score report. You might want to remind your parents, though, that Compass uses traditional grading for its scoring, while in Quakertown, we use standards-based grading. So congratulations, this account has been set up correctly. Let's log out of this and try the student account. Head over to the orange button to log off correctly. Now let's see how Charlie's looks. Charlie as well will leave the school set to Odyssey, and he'll log in. And there, you can see, is the one social studies class that we gave Charlie when we set up his account. Remember, we had to give this class, at least one of those classes, to Charlie. And this is the one that he's going to be studying from. Now, again, keep in mind this is the basal curriculum. So this is fresh right out of the box, what Compass developed, and has aligned to the different state standards. For example, if we go into this icon here, the Olmecs, we'll see that there are several different lessons and a chapter test. If I wanted to, you might notice that my mouse is active right now. It's ready to click on this, because if I wanted to, I could click into this test. If I go into one of the lessons, you'll notice that the learning activities up here are both live as well. And if I wanted to, I could skip them and go right to the quiz. If I go back a directory, I can try the daily Olmec life, and the same system settings occur. All of the different elements on this page are active and are live, ready for the student to enter. So this gives a lot of flexibility to the student. However, it also gives them the option of skipping things, and you might not necessarily want that to happen. The other thing that could occur is that Charlie, for example, could go right to the quizzes and to the tests and go through them various times, over and over and over. Charlie could go through the same quiz 20, 50, as many times as he wanted to. And each time, when Charlie goes to the quiz, he gets a listing of all his answers that he answered and how he did on them. Let me demonstrate. Clicking on this quiz in this basal curriculum takes a student to the quiz starting screen. He clicks next, and he begins the quiz. As I go through these questions, you can also take note of the DOK level that is available from these questions. So I'm going to use the same pattern over and over as I go through each questions. So when we look at the answer sheet that Charlie will get, you can see what that produces. So I'm just going to use A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C until I get to 10. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A. And there I'm done. Now take a look at the instant feedback that Charlie gets. Right here, he can see that on question 1 that was phrased, what is the name of the oldest known Olmec center? He got that coincidentally correct. He also knows the correct answer for the Olmecs used this raft to transport. Got that one correct. And he got this question. He understands now that C is the wrong answer. And the slash and burn, that hunting is the wrong answer. If Charlie wanted to, he could go like this. Copy, paste in a Word document, and print to use again and again and again and again, eventually cycling through the entire question pool and then scoring correctly. Now, rest assured, you as a teacher will be able to see this and stop Charlie, hopefully after the first time he goes through a quiz or a test in this cheating manner. And let's hope that Charlie never gets to this point. However, the point that I'm trying to make is that with the basal curriculum, although it gives a lot of flexibility to the students, this type of cheating can occur. So as teachers assigning the basal curriculum, you'll want to watch out for this type of behavior if you happen to see it. I'm going to hit continue, and that takes me back to my screen here. Now I've gone through this quiz one time, so I'm going to return back to the Launchpad, and I'm going to check out my portfolio. One of the things that Compass does extremely well is manage its reporting system. And you can see here a time and a date stamp when I did this quiz. And I can also click on this score here. And once again, Charlie can see what he did correctly and incorrectly. It's a wonderful feedback. However, it does give these answers to students for this level of the depth of knowledge as well. Let's sign out of Charlie's account and see how Mom and Dad can see this. In the parent account, the same thing has been reported. So from work, Mom and Dad can check up and see how Charlie is doing. Once again, you might need to communicate to your parents that they'll probably notice a percentile here. And of course, in standards-based grading, we grade on a 1 through 4. So the parents can see this information as well. You'll also notice that there's no other activity here. In other words, this just lists the quiz. So this is communicating to the parent and also to you as a teacher that Charlie entered the quiz without having first gone into any of the learning activities. Another important note to observe.